What are some misconceptions people have on what the church should look like and be?
Right.
Just as you're thinking about that,
Right.
Raphael says the old church didn't need all the things we have now. Yeah.
Right.
They had the word.
Right.
They had Jesus.
Yeah.
And they had one another.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's essential.
You know what's crazy is that the churches, not the churches, but there are churches out there that have all this stuff but don't have one another.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very similar to like us as people in individual. Like you can have all these things at home, and your home could be this way, and then there'd be no family. Like there's a difference between a house and a home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
You can have a nice house but have a horrible home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like you can look like a great person but feel horrible inside.
You know what? And I'm going to speak from experience, okay? I've met people in the visible church who are from like really big churches,
right?
You know, resourceful churches, and it's felt like they look down. When they ask me how many people go to your church, and I say, 40, 50, then you could see the switch happening. You know, it's like, oh, we got like 800
Whoa.
or 1,000 and
flexing.
Yeah, we got this and that.
That church flex.
Yeah, and then it's like you belong over here. You know,
like you haven't reached my level yet.
Right. We need the least the 500 and over, pastors.
Right.
Over
it
here
becomes cliquish.
Yeah, and then that's a sad thing. I think that happens because people say a successful church is the amount of bodies that are in the church. It's like that's not even the case, man.
Nah.
John 6, where Jesus, many disciples left him after he said, eat my flesh,
right,
and drink my blood, and then many disciples left.
Yeah.
And then he turned to his disciples and say, you're gonna bounce too. And I use that as an example a lot of times for people because an American model would say that Jesus failed because his disciples and people were bouncing on him.
Right.
But we know that's not true. He was succeeding. It was a purification of his followers,
Absolutely.
And the ones that stayed because they love Christ. That bugs me.
I think people forget sometimes Jesus would chase the crowds away.
Right.
Like he would say buzzwords. He would say certain things like triggered. You know what I mean? Like he would trigger people,
right?
Knowing that when he said it, it was going to be a stumbling block. Knowing that when he said it, it was going to make them have a bad taste in their mouth for what he was really saying. You know what I mean? He knew it. Like, he saw that there were crowds there and was like, eat my flesh, drink my blood. Talking to a crowd that daggone well they're not going to do that.
And it was super offensive.
Absolutely.
That was like the most unclean thing you could do, is drink blood.
There's no way they're going to accept that, and he said it anyway. He knew it's not like Jesus was out of touch with the culture.
Right.
It's not like he knew. He knew what he was saying, and he did it for a purpose. A lot of times he would chase the crowds away to see which ones were real.
Right. And the way he did it was really revealing who he was.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I'm the bread that's come down from heaven.
He didn't hold back.
Nah. He and so that again exposed the hearts of men.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the problem, I think, too, is that, in order to maintain a church that has all these lights, all these things, all these people, whatever, a lot of people, they just maintain preaching and worship that is just good enough to keep even the carnal in.
Right.
And so you have
not
a church
too deep, but we'll wade a little bit in the water.
Yeah, it's sad. It's like passive. It's hard to explain. It's like passive preaching and worship that just appeals to the self and talks about Jesus nicely, vaguely, or an overemphasis on self, like this is what this Bible could do for you,
right?
You know,
right. Finding use for God in our life rather than finding that worth in Christ. You know what I mean? Finding Christ's worth to us and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we want to learn how God can help us rather than us serve God.
That's a banger right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.